Okay, guys, so let's look at this exam style question, okay, for GCSE maths for the higher tier, and it's also appropriate for the foundation tier as well. So look at the calculation that increases 240 by 7.5%. So an increase of 7.5% means that I've got an overall increase. Okay, so think of it as like a bar model. This is 100%. And I've got an additional 7.5%. So overall, okay, mathematically, I've got 107.5%. Okay, so I'm multiplying by 107.5%. Now, if you look in the answer section, they've actually times it by a decimal, so by a decimal multiplier. So percentage to a decimal, I divide it by 100. So the decimal point moves 2 places to the left. So being very careful here. 1, then 2. So the answer is 1.075. So I'm timesing 240 by 1.075. So being very careful, which is option number 3. Okay, because 1.075 is equal to 107.5%. Okay, which is that increase of 7.5%. Okay, you are multiplying by 107.5%, and as a decimal multiplier, you are multiplying by 1.075. Okay, so being very careful with that. Okay, because 1.075 as a percentage going backwards is 107.5%, which is the original answer, okay, here. So the answer is option number 3, okay? Okay, so looking at a standard form question, work out 80 million divided by 200. Give your answer in standard form. Okay, so writing it as a fraction, so 80 million, okay, so remember that million has 6 zeros in maths. Okay, dividing that by 200. Okay, so I'm going to start cancelling some zeros to make it a bit easier. So 1, 1, 1, 1. So now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I've actually got 800,000 divided by 2, which is going to be 400,000, okay, because 8 divided by 2 is 4, and then add on the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay, is 400,000. Writing the answer in standard form, well, that would be 4 times 10 to the power of, we're going from here, so we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 jumps. So it's 10 to the power of 5, okay, and it's a positive because it's a big number. So it's 4 times 10 to the power of 5. Examiners will also accept 4.0 times 10 to the power of 5, okay? So examiners will accept either answer, okay, for this question, okay? And this is the answer to this standard form question, okay, and it's worth 2 marks. Okay, guys, so this question says, work out 3 to the power of 12 divided by 3 to the power of 7. Give your answer as a whole number, and it's a 2-mark question. Well, the laws of indices state that if I'm dividing with the same base power, in this case 3, I subtract the powers. So I'm going to have 3 to the power of 12 take away 7. Okay, the base numbers are the same, and if I'm dividing, I subtract the powers. 12 take away 7 is 5, so I have 3 to the power of 5. Now it says give your answer as a whole number, so I've got to actually work it out. 3 to the power of 5 just means 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. Okay, now hopefully you're happy with 3 times 3 is 9, times 3 will be 27, times 3 is 81, and then 81 times 3, if you're not sure what that is, a little workings to the side, 81 times 3, okay, 1 times 3 is 3, and 3 times 8 is 24. So your final answer is 243. 3 to the power of 5 is equal to 243. Okay, 3, 9, 27, 81, 243. So that's my answer for this question. Okay, 243, guys. Okay, right, this next question, simplify this expression, okay, or this sum. Okay, give your answer as a power of 2. Now, first you recognize that 8 is not written as a power of 2. However, 8 is actually 2 times 2 times 2, which is the same as saying 2 to the power of 3 or 2 cubed. Okay, so I have 2 cubed. So now I can rewrite this sum as 2 cubed times 2 to the 6 times 2 to the 4. Now, the laws of indices state that if I'm multiplying with the same base, in this case, base 2, I'm going to add the powers, okay? So I'm going to have 2 to the power of 3 plus 6 plus 4, okay? 6 plus 4 is 10, plus the 3 goes to 13, so the answer is 2 to the power of 13. Okay, and that's the answer for that question. Okay, so it's recognizing that 8 can be written as a power of 2. 8 is equal to 2 cubed, or 2 to the power of 3. Okay, 8 is equal to 2 times 2 times 2. Okay, or 8 is the same as 2 times 2 times 2. Okay, so your final answer is 2 to the power of 13, because when I multiply with the same base, I just add the powers together, or add the indices together, or add the exponents together. Okay, if I'm dividing with the same base, I subtract the powers, or subtract the indices, or subtract the exponents. Okay. Okay, so a solving equation. Okay, so solving a linear equation involving a number of steps. Again, it's worth 2 marks. Okay, so in this case here, it's like a 2-step equation. Now, solve 2w over 15 equals 4/5. Now, there's multiple ways of doing this, guys, but I'm going to do it by cross multiplication. So I'm going to times both sides by 5, and I'm also going to times both sides by 15. Okay, so I'm going to have 2w times 5 is equal to 4 lots of 15. Okay, so cross multiplying. So I multiplied the diagonals. Okay, so 2w times 5, that equals 10w. And I've multiplied the right diagonals. 15 times 4, or 4 times 15, that equals to 60. Okay, dividing both sides by 10 to get w by its own. So dividing both sides by 10, okay, we get that w is equal to 60 divided by 10, which is the number 6. So w is equal to 6, guys, okay? And that's the answer for this question. Okay, guys, so another exam style question. In each box, write a fraction less than 1 to make the calculation correct. Okay, so the point here is the number has to be less than 1. So I'm essentially multiplying a fraction, okay, by another fraction to equal 3/10. Okay, so it would have to be, okay, 1/2 times 3/5, or 3/5 times 1/2. Okay, 1 times 3 is 3, and 2 times 5 is 10. Okay, so that's the answer for that one. For the next part, in each box, write a decimal less than 1 to make the calculation correct. So something times something equals 0.6. Well, 0.2, okay, multiplied by 0.3, okay, gives you 0.06, okay, and that's the answer for that question, okay, because multiplying decimals, okay, 2 times 3 is 6, and then counting my decimal places, I've got 1 and I've got 2, so my final answer has to have 2 decimal places after the decimal point, okay, so that confirms my answer, because 2 times 3 is 6, okay, and I've divided this by 10, and I've divided this by 10. Therefore, I'm going to divide the overall answer by 10 squared or divide it by 100, and I get 0.06. Okay, so if you follow the arrows, okay, divide by 10, divide by 10, and then here I'm going to be dividing by 10 squared or divided by 100, okay, and it gives you that, okay, and that's the answer for that question.